Welcome back, boys, and girls, and non-binary people. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, that's just what I say. To the final part of this mural saga. If you've not seen my previous parts, it will be up on my channel. Please go check that out. And whilst you're over there, hey, I'm going to do that annoying thing that YouTubers do. Why don't you give me a little subscribe? I'd really appreciate that. Okay, we're not even 40 seconds in, I'm already yapping, so this will be interesting. I've also had many an exciting life update since I uploaded my last mural painting video, which was only like a couple weeks ago. I don't remember, guys, but anyway, I have managed to acquire myself a boyfriend, so that was interesting. Shout out. He watches some of my videos, so yeah. Anyway, also, why did I say acquired? That made him sound like a Pokemon. Whatever, sorry. And I'm also doing a manga art class for my local library, the one that I'm painting in, so that's really exciting. And it filled up super quick too, because I think a lot of it's for children, because I do a lot of work with kids through the library. And it filled up really quick because children are really interested in manga and anime. I've worked with the local school kids before, and they're like more into it than even I am. It's insane how much it's taken off and how mainstream it is now. It's so fascinating. I would not have predicted this like over 10 years ago when I first started getting into it. It's crazy. It's really exciting. So I'm excited to put together my little art class and hopefully inspire some people. It'll be really exciting. When I was at my shift earlier this week too, my boss, she's called Debbie, she's an absolute icon and a diva, love her by the way. I don't think she watches my videos, but if she ever stumbles across it, hey Debbie, you're iconic, love you. She's a really good boss. And I got a really, really heartfelt card from her and the entire library staff and team, saying how much they appreciated my murals and how good they are, which was just so lovely. And she even got me a bouquet of flowers, I think, from herself and obviously the entire library committee and team and charity. So I don't know, that was just really, really nice, because I did this completely unpaid, because again, the library's a charity and I can afford to do that for the community, and I've seen how much it gives the children and people, and it's just been such an honour to do it. I've really enjoyed it, and that little gesture as a thank you was very, very meaningful. So yeah, it made me smile. Something that's also made me smile a lot whilst creating this mural and having it up now finally, because it's completed fully, finally. I mean, it's taken me 2 months, give or take, maybe. I've been working on it for a good couple hours a week, I'd say 6 hours every week that I can, pretty much. But oh yeah, and this is the manga that I'm drawing on my mural, by the way, Komi Can't Communicate. It's such a good manga. It's about a girl who has such severe social anxiety that she's non-verbal, pretty much. So she communicates by writing on a notepad, and she wants to make 100 friends. I think that's her goal, and I thought that would be a really cool manga to draw up there, because I have Naruto kind of for the shonen for the boys, and then Komi for the shoujo for the girls. But obviously you can read whatever. I read both shonen and shoujo. It's just that those things are made with the gender, thing in mind. But it obviously doesn't matter. It's just a book. But we stock both of them. We stock Naruto and we stock Komi Can't Communicate. And what has been making me smile, like I said before, is that so many people and so many kids particularly have been coming into the library whilst I'm on shift and requesting that we order certain mangas and books in, because I don't think people realise that we actually stock them. And so having people come in and just suddenly order after I've put these murals up to kind of let people know, hey, we do comics and we do mangas, there's been such an influx of people like getting books in and using the library, and obviously that's really beneficial for us. So I just feel really, really pleased that has worked, because that was obviously my goal. So yeah, we're getting more and more people using the library and using our services and coming in and using the books and hopefully enjoying them to whatever extent and capacity. And it's lovely, because I hope that it can keep the library open, because there's a lot of libraries that are unfortunately dying out, and that would be such a shame. Libraries are really important services to people. It's important that all this information with all these books are free and accessible to all people. Even if you don't have the money to like pay and buy a book and own a book yourself, you should be able to take one out for free at the library. And so I would be really sad if this library closed down. So I'm glad that I'm doing my part to try and keep it alive and open. So yeah, it's made me feel quite proud of myself. And it's nice to see that it's making a difference. Also, I should point out that before, when I made that face when I put the pink over the previous pink, it's because that pink isn't a... Oh, I'm breaking my teeth on this paint thing. You can see sometimes paint tubes are really hard to open, and so I have to use my teeth. Don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. That's not good for your teeth. But there was no one else there to help me, so I had to balls to the walls it, and that I did. But what I was saying before is I made that shocked face when I put the pink onto the previous pink background, because that pink isn't a like pre-mixed pink. I had to make that. I had a darker pink, which you can see in the above mural in the Naruto like logo. It's slightly darker, and I had to add white. And I did like I made enough pink to do the first layer, and then I realised I have to do a second layer to just make sure that it's fully opaque, not transparent, not see-through. And so I did that, but never have I ever in my life actually colour matched so perfectly. So that's why I was gagged, guys. I was gagged, okay? Because I've never done that before. So either I got really lucky, or, and I'm going to tell myself it's this, my skills have improved with pigment and colour matching and all that jam. So, hopefully it's that. Hopefully that I've just had practice and my skills have improved. I'll report back if I can do it again. If not, then I guess it was just luck. But, here's to hoping, guys. Here's to hoping. It's so ridiculous. Also, I went to stay at my boyfriend's house recently. I'm not going to dox him and say where he lives, because then I'd also kind of dox myself. So, we'll just say a random place. And he knows that I work as a librarian, obviously. And I've shown him this mural that I did both online, and then he came to see it in person. And so he took me to his local library, guys. How cute is that? To me, meant a lot. That was really fun. I really enjoyed just looking through the shelves of books and seeing people in the library. I'm a nerd for that stuff, okay? I love books. I'm a bookworm. It'd be weird if I didn't love books and I worked in a library, really, if we think about it. But yeah, no, that was very sweet. Sorry, not me yapping about this, but anyway. Back to the painting. I I'm basically using acrylic like I used for this entire project. You can see here that I'm using an acrylic Posca paint pen. If you don't use Posca paint pens, especially if you have a graphic style like this and you like clean cartoon kind of graphic lines, get on it. They're so good for line art, they're so good for colour blocking, and especially if you're painting on walls, or if you need to do line art on a canvas or something, they're elite. And also if you have to do text work, look at me, writing out that stuff. It's easy. It makes it so simple. Can't recommend enough. It's a really good tool to have in your repertoire if you're an artist, and if it works for your style, if you have a similar style to what I'm working with on this mural, get in it. Invest. They're very, 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 very good. So yeah, that's my little pro tip. Anyway. But since I am doing an entire panel of manga comics, and I'm pretty sure both of these are animes too. Yeah, they are. I mean, I know that Naruto's an anime. I've been watching it, and I'm rewatching it for like the 18th time now. And Come Can't Communicate is on Netflix, I think. I've not seen it actually. I'm gonna watch it. I am gonna watch that anime. It's on my to-be watch list. I'm currently watching Detective Conan though. That is good. Oh my god, take me back to old anime. I love like old school anime. It's so good. Anyway, sorry, I just got nostalgic for a minute there. But if you have any anime recommendations, drop it in the comment. I've had the children who I work with, who I do my art classes with, because like they're into anime and manga, because like I draw it for them, and they were talking about like Jujutsu Kaisen, and all the like young lads were being like, draw Gojo. Oh, I was listening to Something in the Way whilst I was drawing Batman, because of like the new Batman movie. I love Nirvana, they're so good. I think they were filming some of like the new Batman movie in like Liverpool, weren't they? Or have I just made that up? I feel like my friend told me that. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, what was I talking about? My brain's going 1,000 miles a minute. Sorry guys, it's the heat. England's currently having a heat wave and I'm like dying. I'm sweating my, pardon my language, ass off, but like there's no better way to put it. It's just an accurate description. Anyway, so yeah, I have a few art projects on the horizon that I kind of want to get going on. I'm not sure how many I'll be able to do, but I mean, I always have little ideas here and there. That's part of being an artist. And if I didn't have any ideas, that would be art block. And the last time I had art block was awful. I hate having art block as an artist. I think most artists do. If if anyone else draws or is an artist of any kind and you've had art block, I understand your pain. I salute you, you absolute god warrior. But yeah, so right now I'm painting Batman. I'm using, like I said, for everything I've used acrylic. I did a sketch in pencil to outline and figure out placement and everything. So the grey stuff that you see there is pencil, and I taped it with masking tape on the edges, so then we can do some of my favourite thing at the end, of which you'll see, which is some quality peel porn. Ooh, it's good stuff. So look forward to that. And yeah, for my Batman design, I wanted to be a bit cartoony and comic book-y with it, since it's, you know, to advertise that we, you know, have comic books in stock. But I also wanted to pay a homage of like nostalgia for myself, so I did it loosely based on the Batman Arkham Asylum Arkham games, because I grew up with them. They're really good games and they're very nostalgic to me, and that's like my favourite. When I think of Batman, that's what I personally think of. But I mean, Batman's so iconic and so like nostalgic for a lot of people that I think, depending on your age group or, you know, who your parents were and kind of what generation they were, depending on what you saw of Batman, you have a different frame of reference for it, which I find really interesting. So yeah, that's just my frame of reference. But Batman, when I was younger, was the first time that I kind of like dipped my toe into comic books. So since I knew I was going to do a comic book mural, I immediately knew I had to do Batman. I knew I wanted to do manga because it's so like hot at the minute, and you know, obviously it's worked out with what I mentioned previously. But yeah, I think Batman is just like so iconic for a lot of people, and when you think of comics, like you think of DC and you think of Batman specifically. But yeah, I just remember like being a kid and reading like some of my brother's Batman comics and just being absolutely mesmerized by the style. And I remember being so fascinated with like the texture of halftones. For people who don't know what halftones are, it's like what comic book artists use to capture shading. It's those little dots of shading, and they come in like different like textures to get different gradients and like thickness. It's great. It's so interesting. I love it. I'm such a nerd for it. This is me showing you my blue that I'm painting his suit with. It's that lovely deep kind of like royal blue that I used on both Comey's blazer above and then the background for the Naruto panel on the top there that you can see. It's a really nice blue. I've never used this brand of acrylic before, but I like that they're in pouches so you can squeeze them out quite easily. They're a bit thicker than I would normally go for, but for a mural I wanted like a thick, viscous, what a good word, paint to make sure that everything was like opaque and lovely and thick and juicy. So the colour payoff was really like rich because I wanted it to look like, you know, I wanted it to be of quality. I don't want it to fade. I want it to be striking and clean, and I think that it has achieved that, so I'm very, very happy with that. I was also really, really pleased with how the Batman logo came out. I wanted to do it was the most complicated logo out of all three. Obviously the Comey Can't Communicate logo is the simplest because it is literally just handwriting. It's not necessarily my handwriting, but it's not dissimilar to it, so it's kind of easy for me to copy, as long as I was looking at a reference, which I was. And then the Naruto logo is a little bit more finicky, but again still kind of easy to do, and because it's a little bit like loose, it was kind of easy to do with paint. But this Batman logo with like inside the bat design, I was honestly quite worried that I wasn't gonna pull it off and it was gonna be wonky and like, you know, a little bit janky looking. But I managed to get it, and I managed to get it on like pretty much my first try sketching it, and then it came through on the paint, so I was very, very pleased with that. You'll see me, I've got the yellow filled in with acrylic there, and I'll outline it in black, so you'll see the full effect of it later, and hopefully you will like what you see. I was quite pleased with how it turned out personally. But this mural has been my biggest project to date, question mark. I say it like that because I had my end of year gallery exhibition for university, which was like a very big deal and honestly like bucket list stuff, which was really fun to see other people's reactions to my artwork. You can see me looking back in the video because some lovely older ladies who I work with came into the library and saw my work and said how much they loved my Batman drawing. So yeah, as you can see, that made me very, very happy. And now we get on to the best part, which is the peel porn. Anyway. I mean, come on. If you don't think that that's satisfying, I worry about your judgment, because that is satisfying. Look at me do my little dance. I'm so happy with it. Oh, I'm about to throw it. Kobe. Anyway, you can tell I don't watch sports. I don't watch any sports. Actually, that's a lie. I watch wrestling, but like that's sports entertainment. I don't watch like actual wrestling. I like campness, I like glitter, so I watch wrestling. Oh yeah, I felt bad about it landing on the floor, so I picked it up. For an artist, I'm very neat. I work very neatly, which I think the library appreciated, so that's good. I really struggled to pick this section of masking tape off, as you can see, because I had to like do tiny little pieces to work around that little key safe like box thing, or like panel. I don't really know what it's used for, so yeah, it was a little bit finicky, less satisfying this section, sorry, but there's another good peel. Oh, look at that peel, that is, yeah, I felt that deep in my soul. That's a 10 out of 10 peel right there, I would say. I was admiring my work. Look at me dropping it low. Dropping it like it's hot. Anyway, I hate that I make myself laugh so much, it's so dorky. And yeah, I'm struggling to peel this part off, but we will get there because we adapt and we overcome. And look at that, like butter, like magic. That is so slay. I love it. There we go. Here you can see me cleaning up the outer edge. So this is a separate day. I think this was like a week later. I did it on Sundays when the library is completely closed to the public, so I wasn't in the way and people weren't, you know, gonna knock the paint over, touch it, smear it, you know, that kind of thing. So it just made more sense to do it when the library was closed, and hence why I filmed, because I wasn't gonna get anyone on camera. But yeah, I'm just using my acrylic Posca paint pen to outline with a ruler and then fill in. That's why I get the like cleaner, thicker outer edges, giving it that comic book panel effect that I was going for, and I was really pleased with it. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing. And again, another reason I'm singing Posca paint pen praises. I should be an ambassador. Also, Posca paint pen, a sentence and a phrase very heavy in P's, so it is making me spit all over the mic, actually, so if that's picking up, sorry. But I will sing their praises once more. They're so opaque too. Like the acrylic paint isn't thin. I've used other brands of like acrylic pen markers and they can be a bit streaky, but Posca, the girlies over at Posca know what they're doing. They know what they're doing and they've got your back. So I really do recommend them. I promise that this isn't like an advertisement or anything. I literally do just love the products. If you're an artist who needs that kind of effect and it helps your workflow, please try it out, because I tried it out on a whim and now they're like a staple of my kit, like art kit, or you know, like the tools that I use. So yeah, they're a good tool for this tool, me. But yeah, anyway, now I'm doing the lettering on the comics title logo to show and display to people that we stock comics and that people can request them in and we can get them sent from, you know, other local libraries in the county. And we also have them like in our actual library, and they stock, rotate and float about and whatever. By the way, I'm swinging my arm because I don't know if anyone's ever like held their arm up for a certain amount of time. Obviously this is sped up, but I was painting with my arm up in the air, like above my face, for like a couple hours. So like, yeah, I got pins and needles. So that was a way of me combating the pins and needles. I've not just like gone into it because I know it looks kind of crazy. It's a way of like getting my arm to not fall asleep again, you know. So, but we do it for the aesthetic and we do it for the art, because we go through the pain for the end result, and I think it was well worth it. I'm very, very happy with the ending result. I was originally going to do this comic title in yellow or orange, but I thought it was like very yellow and orange base, and I also didn't think it like stood out from the white wall enough, and the red gives it a nice contrast enough to see it, and the little key next to it on that hook there is red, so it matches it. And also Comey's little bow tie has a tiny little pop of red, so I just feel like it was a nice way of like having all that kind of come together in like a colourful, you know, uniform way. I don't know, I think it works, and I was quite happy with the result of it. So yeah. And guys, now I'm doing the final outline of the line art with my tried and true, let's spit all over the mic again, Stella, Posca paint pen. But yeah, I have to say that doing this like final section felt a little bit emotional for me, because it's been like such a big project and I've been like so focused on it, like even before I started painting it and doing it physically for like these 2 months, like throughout these videos, I was planning it and drawing so many different digital designs and little sketches in my sketchbook for like months prior. So to like not work on this anymore feels weird when it's been like I've been working on it for months, and I'm sure if anyone's an artist who've had like projects akin to this can probably understand how I feel. It feels like birthing a baby. I'm sure it's I mean, it's not as painful or impressive as birthing a baby, I'm not saying that, but it feels a bit emotional because there's always a little bit of you in everything that you do. Sorry, that's such an art person thing to say. But it's true, it's how I feel. I don't know how else to articulate it. But yeah, that's it, I guess. I hope that you guys have enjoyed all these little videos and my stupid, random yapping and ranting. I can talk for England. I mean, clearly, it's been a lot of content, so if anyone's listened to it all, I salute you, soldier, and this is it. And I also put my information on a little plaque, and here it is. Thank you guys so much, and take care.